your marketing message. This is probably, this in sales and maybe products are the 2 or 3 places where you're going to make the most money. We have seen business after business to have on a $20,000 run rate, clarify their message, and they jump to a $200,000 run rate very, very quickly. Why? Because they've got a great product, but customers are confused about why they need it. So if we clarify your marketing message, you sell more product. Next thing we want to do is teach you how to sell. And I'm going to do that in the form of a $1 million sales email. I say this because if you know how to write this formulaic email, you will make $1 million. If you stick with it long enough and use it long enough, some of you will write one email that makes $1 million. I was just at a sales conference recently and taught them how to do this. And the sales reps in the room, all for one specific company, used the formula and closed $2.4 million worth of sales in the room. It's a very powerful sales email, and it will work for your small business. The next thing you want to do is optimize your products for revenue and profit. Your products are great, I'm sure, but you can probably batch some of them together or create some new products or drop some products that aren't selling well. And you want to optimize that product offering so that you sell more products and those products are more profitable. Of course, as your business grows, you've got to be able to manage all the people in your business because labor is your biggest expense. And if you are spending money on people and not getting a significant return on that labor investment, your business is going to crash. And then finally, what are you going to do with all this money? When you're making all that money, it's often easy to make money, but difficult to manage that money. So I want to introduce you to a system that uses 5 checking accounts to manage that money. This system is going to make sure that you have money saved up for taxes, that you always make payroll, that you have money set aside in a rainy day fund. And not only that, it's going to make sure that you have money flowing into an account that you would use on outside investments. I firmly believe your business exists so that you can buy assets that make you money without working. Doesn't that sound great? You know, if you talk to Ray Kroc, who's obviously passed away, but if you talk to anybody who owns a fast food chain of restaurants, they will tell you they're not in the fast food business, they're in the real estate business. And what that means is they sell hamburgers at this location in order to buy the land, but the land is the asset. The land is the thing that really builds wealth, because if the bottom falls out of fast food or suddenly a new fast food chain comes and competes with them and knocks them out of the market, doesn't matter. They own the land, and now they can become a real estate company. You want to think the same about your small business. It exists to buy you and your family a duplex or some stocks or some treasury bonds, you know, on and on and on. And we'll get to a little bit of that as the 6th part of our talk today. So those are the 6 things that I want you to be able to do. And the reason is those are the 6 areas that where people, small business owners, make mistakes. And because they make mistakes in these areas, their businesses crash. All of this fits into a framework. And the framework, the metaphor for the framework is actually an airplane. What is the airplane? The airplane is how you should run your business. Your business should operate like an airplane. You have the leadership part of your business. That's the cockpit. The cockpit is where you install the coordinates where you're going. Those need to be economic coordinates. You need financial goals for your business. Your marketing is your right engine. That's where you're going to clarify that marketing message, and that plane is going to start thrusting forward a lot faster. If you want it to go even quicker, learn how to sell. And you want to learn how to sell by writing an email that closes sales. But the email is kind of a Trojan horse. Once you learn to write the email, you also learn to create proposals, to give elevator pitches, and even to have conversations at lunch, because really the email is a framework that teaches you sales talking points. The wings of your airplane are your products. That's where you get lift. If those products are not profitable and in demand, that airplane is not going to get off the ground. Now, what you've got inside the airplane is all the people who work for you. And if you are a solo business, if you are on your own, you are your most expensive cost. You cost the company more than anything else. And if you're not getting high productivity out of yourself, then your overhead is bloated and the body of your airplane is big. And if that body gets too big so that the wings and the engines can't provide enough lift or thrust to lift that heavy body, you know what happens. You crash. Then if you're not operating your business using 5 checking accounts, you're in danger of running out of money because you don't have daily clear optics on where the money is. If you run out of fuel, that plane is going to crash. If you run out of money, that plane is going to crash. So take a look at this image. If you understand the 6 parts of a business and you have installed and are managing the frameworks that help you operate this business very well, your business will fly far and fast and safely. And not only that, your business, if you wanted to, will turn into a single propeller, small ultralight, which would be a solopreneur business, to a 2-person business, maybe you and a virtual assistant, to a 3rd person, maybe a coder or an in-house marketing person or an in-house salesperson. And then you're going to add some administrative staff. Believe it or not, before you know it, your little bitty single propeller airplane starts looking like a commercial jet. It happened to me, and I never expected it to happen. It can happen to you as well. Okay, let's look at the first part of the airplane, and let me introduce you to step 1 of your business plan, and that is the cockpit of your business. This is where you install the coordinates that tell everybody on your leadership team or you yourself, if you were a solopreneur, where this business is going. Okay, the framework that you want to use to install the coordinates of your business is the Business on a Mission Guiding Principles framework. Now, you're looking at a page of a piece of software that you can use if you go to smallbusinessflightplan.com. If you go to smallbusinessflightplan.com, the software is yours for free. If you want to, you can print it out, or if you have a copy of my book, How to Grow Your Small Business, it's printed in the back of that book for free. But we use it as a piece of software, and it is really incredible. What you can do with this software is enter the coordinates of where you want your business to go. Those coordinates are going to be a mission statement, key characteristics, critical actions, and core values. Those are the guiding principles for your business, and they all fit on one sheet of paper. I want to focus, though, on that mission statement. Your mission statement needs 3 economic objectives. So what you want to do, come back to me for a second. What you want to do is you want to say, the formula, if you will, for your mission statement is we will accomplish X by Y because of Z. We will accomplish X by Y because of Z. You enter that data into your flight computer, and that business knows where it needs to go, and everybody involved in that business knows where we want to go. So the formula is we will accomplish X by Y because of Z. Let's look at this really quickly. What is X? X are your 3 economic objectives, and it's by far the most important part of your entire guiding principles worksheet. X, it can be things like we will, if you own a pet food store or something like that, we will double our sales in dog food or pet food. We will see a 50% increase in our kennel business and a 30% increase in our dog training business. I like 3. Now, you may have 27 economic objectives or 250 for that matter for the company, but the human brain can only prioritize about 3 things at a time. So you're going to choose the 3 things that you're going to prioritize that make the most difference, positively affect your bottom line. And if you focus on those 3 things, your business is going to grow. Most businesses, and yours is probably the same, obey the Pareto principle. That is 20% of the products that you sell create 80% of your revenue. Just think about that for a second. Is it true? And it may not be specific products, but divisions like pet food or kennel or whatever. you may also sell fish. You may also sell, chew toys. But the reality is 80% of your business comes from the sales of only 20% of your products. And so in your mission statement, you're going to find the 3 products or 3 divisions of your business that will have the largest positive impact on the bottom line of your business. And you're going to focus on those in your mission statement. This does not mean it's the only things that you focus on. All it means is you are going to emphasize the buttons that you can push that grow the business the fastest. It's a very smart thing to do. All right, let's look at that mission statement again. We will accomplish X. Those are your 3 economic objectives by Y, and Y is your deadline. Almost no mission statements have a deadline, and I think it's a mistake. You want to say, we will sell this much dog food, this much in kennel services, this much in dog training by January 1 of 2025. So I don't recommend going out beyond about 2 years, but if you go out to about 2 years, it creates a sense of urgency for you and your team to start accomplishing those objectives and meeting those metrics. A deadline increases urgency. Now, some of you say, Dom, this just does not sound like a mission statement to me, and you're going to get hung up on some mission statement that you already have and that you've worked on. I don't mind that. I think it's great. Just call it a goal statement. That's all you have to do. Just change what I'm saying as a mission statement to a goal statement. What you're going to find, though, is when you actually use "we will accomplish X by Y because of Z" as your goal statement, it replaces your mission statement, and you won't even remember what your mission statement is, and you'll be focused on your goal statement. Who cares what we call it? All we want is focus on these 3 economic objectives. So we will accomplish X are your 3 economic objectives by Y, which is your deadline, because of Z. And what is Z? Z is the customer-centric reason that you actually are in business. So don't say because we want to grow our business or something like that. It's we will see an increase in dog food, an increase in kennel services, an increase in training by January 1 of 2025, because everybody deserves to have a great relationship with their pet. So make it a customer-centric because. And that's going to give an altruistic sort of meaning to your business and a service to your business. Our business, we certify coaches, we certify marketing agents, and we have an online platform. And so our business states we will have 900 StoryBrand marketing guides, 500 Business Made Simple coaches, and 18,000 people inside of our platform by January 1 of 2024, because every small business owner deserves the help they need to grow their small business. That is our mission statement. And what happens is, as soon as you have this mission statement, something amazing happens. As soon as you create this mission statement, you have a filter. That filter you use to decide whether or not to do things. I can't tell you how many times we've sat around in our boardroom here at Business Made Simple headquarters. We've sat around in our boardroom, and somebody said, well, what about this? Let's try this. And then somebody else will say, well, hey, you guys, that doesn't really support our mission statement. Do we want to do it? Sometimes we do want to do it because not everything is involved in our mission statement. Not everything is included. And sometimes we say, you know what? That's going to take so much energy out of what we're trying to build. Let's kill it. If you don't have a filter for making decisions, you're going to make a lot of bad decisions. And that filter needs to be economic. Your business eats cash, and so you need to bring in cash in order to keep it alive. Make sure your mission statement has 3 economic objectives, a deadline, and a reason. If it has those things, you're inviting yourself and your team into a story, and you are much more likely to accomplish the objectives that story has unfolded. Now, on that guiding principles worksheet at smallbusinessflightplan.com, on that guiding principles worksheet, you also have key characteristics, critical actions, and core values. If you want help filling out the rest of this, keep me on your screen, but open up Amazon on your smartphone, open up Amazon in another browser, and buy my book, How to Grow Your Small Business. It's going to take you through that process along with every other process that I'm going to talk about on this webinar. All right. Now that we know how to enter the flight coordinates in our airplane, we know where we want this thing to go. Let's ramp up the right engine to make sure that we can actually get there. Your right engine is your marketing engine. And what we want to do in order to get the plane moving is clarify our marketing message. You have a tool inside of smallbusinessflightplan.com called a brand script. And this brand script is going to help you clarify a message by coming up with 6 talking points. These 6 talking points, you want to come up with the words that you're going to use within them and repeat them over and over in all of your marketing collateral. Basically, it's this. And by the way, these words will help you invite customers into a story, which is the most powerful way to compel an audience's attention. I wrote a book called Building a Story Brand. It's sold close to 1 million copies now. Many of you have read it. It goes through this process, so I'm not going to take a long time talking about it. But basically, you want 6 talking points. You want to define what the hero in the story wants. That's your customer. You need to define what they want. If they want a great relationship with their pet, or a dog that they love, or a dog that serves their family as a faithful friend, you get to decide what that is, but that's what the character wants. Then that character has to have a problem or the story doesn't work. However, your dog keeps barking at the front door. So you want a dog that is a faithful family friend, that's not an annoyance, that serves your family. However, your dog keeps barking at the door every time somebody knocks at the door. So you want a problem, and highlight a problem that your customer has. Your customers only pull out their wallets to solve a problem. Then you want to position yourself as the guide in their story. We are experts at helping you stop a dog from barking at the front door and making it a faithful family friend. Now you have a reason to be in their story because you are the guide helping the hero win the day. Then as you go through the framework, you give them a 3-step plan. You call them to action. You share what negative thing will happen if they don't buy your product and what positive thing will happen if they do buy your product. And that is called a brand script. Now, I will walk you through how to create a brand script in the book, How to Grow Your Small Business, or in an entire book called Building a Story Brand. I do it 2 places. But if you once you do that, you have 6 sentences, phrases, talking points that you can use in all of your marketing collateral that will increase business. It will fire up that right engine and create thrust that moves that airplane forward. You will not believe when I talk about businesses going from a run rate of $20,000 a month to $200,000 a month. Often it's just because they clarified their marketing message. You want to do that. So let's stop here. We've gone through 2 of the frameworks in your business plan that you need to professionalize your operation. Overhaul your leadership and overhaul your marketing. Each of those, if you work at it, might take you a week. But just 2 weeks in, think about what we've done. We've established a clear economic objective for this organization, and we've clarified our marketing message that helps us sell that product. Already, you should see a massive increase in revenue after you do those things, right? After you install those frameworks, you should see an increase in revenue already from installing 2 of the 6 parts of this operating system. All right, the next thing that you want to do is you want to focus on sales. And this is your left engine. And once your left engine gets humming, imagine the power of your right engine and your left engine moving. That plane is going to start flying literally down the runway, and it's going to get some lift. There's a framework that you use, and this is one of the most beautiful tools we've ever created. It's inside of your flight plan, and it's for sales. What you want to do is you want to take the products that you represent and write a sales script for each product. There are 6 parts to a sales script, very similar to the brand script. The brand script is for your overall brand. The sales script is for each product. And you want to identify what's the problem this product solves. How does my product solve that problem? What's the plan? What's the negative stakes, positive stakes, and what's my call to action? Now, this is the sales script that I used recently. There's a company called Calix. We're good friends with Calix. They were a $800 million broadband service company 3 years ago. Now they're a $1.4 billion broadband service company. In 3 years, they saw that kind of growth. Why? They use brand scripts and sales scripts. I mean, they've done a lot of things, but They use brand scripts and sales scripts to create a very cohesive, easy to understand message in the marketplace, and they're exploding. Customers can find, what they're doing is they're bringing broadband internet to rural communities, and they're just exploding. And I think once they're done with that, they're going to move into urban areas as well. And this is probably going to be a $20 billion business in a relatively short period of time. Amazing business. But I spoke to their 250 sales reps in Las Vegas. I gave them the formula that is talked about in the book, How to Grow Your Small Business, and in that flight plan that you have. They used that to write some sales letters, and right there in the room, by the next day, they had closed $2.4 million in sales. Pretty incredible. It's amazing what happens when you learn to invite customers into a story. Okay, let's stop again because we're halfway through the business plan. You've installed leadership, the 3 economic objectives. You have clarified your marketing message, and you've clarified your sales message. This is a major step forward in professionalizing your operation, preventing a lot of the problems that you might have as a small business owner, but bottom line, making more money. Those are the 3 things that you want to do to make more money and increase your revenue. And I know how it is to be a small business owner. You need cash. You need cash. All right, let's look at the next part of our small business, and that is our products. Of course, our marketing and our sales have to sell something. We often don't think about changing our product offering when it comes to making money. We think about marketing and sales, but your products are just as powerful to grow your business. In fact, with my small business, I've noticed that if there's a hockey stick increase in sales, if there's a hockey stick increase in revenue, when I look back over the history of my company, it almost always correlates with the release of a new product. Something energized our customer base. We created something of extreme value, and they bought it, and they made a ton more money, and my business kept growing. I've always believed as a business to business that if I make people a lot of money, I'm going to be fine. And we've always had that philosophy. So we release these products that make a lot of money. Now, there are a couple different ways to do that, to figure out your product offering and how to optimize it for more revenue. And of course, we have 2 different worksheets that help you do that. One is a product profitability audit. This is an incredible worksheet in which you enter in the products that you sell and figure out how profitable they are. Then you hit a button, and when you hit that button, the button lists your products from most profitable to least profitable. This is so eye-opening to so many small business owners because they realize, my goodness, I'm not making money the way I thought I was. I thought I was making money off these products, but truthfully, I'm making money off these other products. And of course, the second that you do that, you adjust your marketing and sales efforts to promote the products where you're actually making money. And what happens? The airplane gets a lot more lift, and it starts going up. Your profit margins increase, sales increase on the products that actually matter. It's very important to do a product profitability audit. That audit is in your small business flight plan, and it's a worksheet inside of that flight plan. The next thing that you want to do is install a product brief into your daily operations. A product brief is if you want to represent a product that somebody else creates, so you're going to distribute it, or create a new product, you fill out a product brief. A product brief is 3 or 4 pages worth of questions that you ask about that product. Questions like, if we release this, is it going to confuse our market? If we release this, is it going to pillage sales on something else that we already have? Do we know how we're going to talk about this? Do we know who our target market is? How much are we going to charge for it? So on and so on. 3 pages of questions like that. And what it does is by the end of filling out a product brief, you have a really good synopsis and a really good summary of the product so you understand whether or not to move forward with this or not. We have got to stop actually creating products and letting the market test those products. What we need to do is fill out a product brief and figure out whether it's going to do well, and then release it to test it after we know whether it's going to do well. We fill out product briefs on everything around here, even on marketing efforts that aren't even products. We fill out a product brief. A product brief was probably filled out for this actual webinar that you were watching. We said, fill out a product brief. Let's look at it and see whether or not this webinar is worth doing. And of course it was, otherwise I wouldn't be talking to you today. What this does as your business grows is it saves you from doing 2 and 3 and 6 months and 2 and 3 and 6 years worth of work on something that is not going to work. You know beforehand. And it basically takes the body of that airplane and really leans it out so you're not losing so much labor. So products are very important. The product audit and the product brief are the 2 worksheets inside of your flight plan. And those worksheets are going to help you optimize your wings to get the greatest lift so that your engines, the work that they do actually make the plane fly farther and faster, or that the engines just don't have to work all that hard because your wings are so incredibly light and strong and big to create more lift. All right, number 5 is overhead and operations. I'm especially fond of this framework because for at least 3 years, I thought this is a problem we will never solve. It just was so difficult as my small business grew. We added that 10th, 12th, 15th, 20th, 25th employee. All of a sudden, there are people in the hallway, and I don't actually know what they do. I mean, I know kind of what their position is, but I don't know what their daily tasks are. And especially with remote work these days, you guys, you don't know if people are working or not. You don't know if everybody knows what they're supposed to be focused on. If you are spending labor dollars and not getting a return on those on that investment, your overhead is getting bloated and the belly of that airplane is getting bigger and bigger. And pretty soon you're going to have this giant belly of an airplane with tiny little wings and tiny little engines, and that airplane is going down. It's going to crash. So we've got to keep our labor lean and productive. So what that means is, how do you manage all of those people? How do you manage everybody so that you know what everybody's objectives are, what people are focused on? People have deadlines. We know what we're supposed to do. How do you manage that many people? Well, it cost me about $500,000 to solve this problem. And we tried the Rockefeller system. We tried 4 disciplines of execution. I brought in consultants. I paid people to become my chief of staff to run the operations. But it wasn't until we brought in somebody who cost me upwards of $300,000 and we created our own system. And basically, it's a version of Japanese lean management. And we operate our business using 5 meetings, only 5 meetings. 5 meetings is the foundation. I still go to war rooms and other things and meetings with outside clients, but our operation runs on 5 routine meetings, and everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Everybody knows the 3 economic objectives, and everybody knows the role they play in order to accomplish those 3 economic objectives. Not only that, they get the coaching and development that they need, and their bonus structures and compensation structures are actually based on their performance. What a huge problem to solve. And this cost me $500,000 to solve it. I am solving it for you for free. Or grab the book for $25 on Amazon.com, go to chapter 5, and it will tell you how to solve this problem. That's it. $25 to solve a $500,000 problem. Now, let me give you a summary of how it works. The 5 meetings are as follows: the all-staff meeting, and inside of your flight plan, of course, you have a template to fill out before that all-staff meeting that teaches you to have that all-staff meeting. In that all-staff meeting, the most important part, you're going to go over the 3 economic objectives of this small business so that everybody always knows what we're trying to do and they can't forget it. After the all-staff meeting, you're going to go into a leadership meeting. So most everybody's going to leave, but your small leadership team sticks around. And the leadership meeting template allows you to address projects and objectives. So you just write, we need to remodel the store. We need to hire a new dog trainer. We need to, those are the problems that leadership is always trying to solve. And each problem or project has its own little template, and you fill that out. And so in your leadership meeting, rather than wasting time discussing what people are worried about, you actually go through the templates and make progress on everything that is pressing for each leadership objective. Doesn't that sound heavenly? It's amazing. Next thing you want to do is you have department stand-ups. As your business grows, and if you don't have the different departments yet, don't worry about it. As your business grows, you're going to find that people divide up into departments. There's the sales department, the marketing department, the content department, the design and develop department, whatever. Each of those departments was going to have a leader, and they are going to have meetings with their team to talk about the objectives of the overall business, along with the objectives of that department, along with the objectives for every member of that department. Then you're going to have the personal priority speed check. The personal priority speed check is each person fills this out inside of your business. Every person fills it out at least once a week, and they clarify their priorities inside of the organization. And you as the owner can know what those priorities are so that you know what everybody is working on. And then finally, there's the quarterly performance review. That is exactly what it sounds like. Every employee their performance is reviewed in about a 30 to 45-minute meeting once a quarter, so 4 times a year. And all they do is they write their 5 priorities, and they mark whether or not they believe they've exceeded, met, or not exceeded, failed to meet, their objectives. Now, this quarterly performance review is done with the department leader. So you as the owner of the company, you don't have to have these meetings. The department leader is going to have those. But what you're ensuring with all 5 of these meetings is very clear, open, positive communication about what we are trying to accomplish. You guys, it's a lifesaver. It is a lifesaver. You say, Don, I don't believe that I can get a $500,000 management system for $25. I'm going to start crying if you don't believe me. It's in the book in chapter 5. It's part of your new business operating system. The problem has been solved for you. You can adapt it and customize it the way that you need to for your business, but it's so important. It's gonna manage your people, help you manage your people extremely well, which, by the way, helps you, but it's also what they need and what they want. They want to know what is expected of them, and they want to know how they're doing. And if they're not getting that, they're going to bounce. They're going to leave and find a place where they can thrive. They're going to thrive, by the way, in a place where their objectives are clear and they're getting the coaching they need and the performance review they need in order to do a better job. So that system has been created for you. It's in chapter 5 of the book. And those 5 meeting templates are inside, you guessed it, your flight plan. All right, finally, the most exciting part is the money that you make when you grow your business. When you professionalize your operation, you make a lot more money. However, if that money is going into your personal checking account and you are treating your personal checking account like a business account, or if you just have a couple checking accounts, or if you never really know how much money you have, you've got to have a cash flow system. So are you as good at managing money as you are at making money? Probably not. You're probably not as good at managing money as you are at making money. So here's what happens as you grow a small business. Now, this is my story, operating my small business out of my personal checking account. And yes, I grew to $500,000 or more in annual revenue before I even separated the 2 accounts, because I am the business, right? I mean, I go and I speak and I write books and I get royalties. And if I need to buy a flight, I'm going to buy that. I just look at my checking account. If I had money in it, I could keep going. If I didn't have money in it, I had to go, dive for dollars somewhere and get some more money. I think that's okay when you're first starting a business, but the sooner you actually professionalize the way you manage money, the more money you're going to have. Let me repeat that. The sooner you professionalize the way you manage your money, the more money you're going to have. Now, let me talk to a subset of the people listening to me right now. Don, I am great at making money. I'm not good at managing money. I don't think about it. I just go out and make money, and I try to spend less than I make, and it works for me. I get it. I understand it. But I guarantee you at the end of the year, you could have a lot more money, and you could have clear optics. If you have ever gone to bed worried about whether you're going to run out of money or be able to pay people or be able to pay the government. When I was a kid, I was 24, I think. I was a rider and speaker. And there's a thing and on a mountain bike or a bike in general called clipless pedals. You buy a pair of shoes and you lock them into those pedals. They don't have clips, so they're clipless, but you're locked into that bike. And I got excited about changing the pedals on my mountain bike to clipless pedals. I went up to the top of Larch Mountain on my first day with clipless pedals outside of Portland, Oregon. And I thought, well, I've got these clipless pedals. I rode around the parking lot. I literally fell down in the parking lot because I couldn't get my feet out of the pedals. I clicked them out, figured out how to do it. I did it twice correctly. And I flew down that mountain and ended up in an emergency room because I couldn't get my feet out of the pedals. Stupid Donald Miller. That gave me a 3-hour surgery on my wrist and a $14,000 bill at the end of the day. And this was 20 years ago, a lot cheaper then. And I had no medical insurance. And then because I paid that bill, I couldn't pay my taxes, and the IRS was after me for about 3 years. You guys, listen, if the IRS is after you and you fail to pay a tax bill, you have that in common with Donald Miller, the author of a book that teaches you how to run a business. It's just part of the process of growing a business is making mistakes. And I give you all the grace of God. In fact, I think you're better off because you made those mistakes, because you will never make them again. You know how crazy it is to get emails all the time and phone calls. And I remember sitting in a room with people who I owed money to and just being so embarrassed that I owed them money and I couldn't pay it. Finally, after a few years, got everything paid off and have been good since. But part of the reason is I learned to manage my money very differently. And let me show you those 5 accounts that I use now. All right, the Small Business Cash Flow Made Simple Playbook is your operating expense account. These are all checking accounts: personal checking account, business profit account, which is your safety net, tax account, which operates as your second safety net, and your investment holding account. If you literally log on to your banking portal like I do, and you see these 5 accounts, you're doing great. You're doing great. Okay, how do they work? Your money flows in and out of your operating expense account. That's one of these beakers is your operating expense account. When you have too much money in your operating expense account, basically more than 1 month's worth of overhead, that's going to flow into your business profit account. Your business profit account is going to have 5 or 6 months worth of overhead in it because it's your safety account. Now, when money flows out of your business operating or your business profit account, it flows into your investment holding account, and that's now your money. You get to do anything you want with that money. I strongly recommend buying assets with that money rather than just spending it on a bass boat or a cruise or whatever you want to do. I would buy some stuff that makes you more money. The key with this system is that every dollar that you pay yourself and every dollar that you pay into your business profit account, you are going to match in your tax account. So it's a 50-50 split between you and the government. Now, you probably had a 32 to 37% tax rating, but then you've got city taxes, municipal taxes, depending on sales taxes, depending on where you live. So I like that 50-50 split. Even in the worst tax situations, 50% is probably a little too much to put into taxes, but that's great because you get to actually write that money back into business profit or into investment holding at the end of the year when the IRS is paid off. You don't want to mess around with the IRS. They can be gracious and helpful, but why? You're going to pay fees and it's going to cost you some sleepless nights and it's not worth it. So read chapter 6 of How to Grow Your Small Business and you will fully understand how to manage your money in such a way you never run out of it. So I've been running these 5 checking accounts for probably 8 years. I've never not made payroll. I've never even come close to not making payroll. It's never concerned me at all. Why? Because I could always see that I had enough money. And it's almost like the warning lights come on the dashboard months before it's a problem. So it's not that there's not stuff you have to fix. It's not magical. It's just that because the warning lights come on so quickly, you have time to fix that problem before it actually becomes a problem. When COVID hit, 85% of our business depended on people coming to Nashville and sitting in a room and learning from me in a workshop. 85%, we're dead in the water. We had enough money though in business profit as a safety net that we could circle the airport and not crash the plane. And we adjusted our business strategy and ended up having our most profitable year and our highest revenue year during COVID because we had the safety of all that money in our safety net to be able to get a bunch of smart people in the room and figure out what we were going to do. Really, the 5 checking accounts are going to do 2 things for you. First, it's going to give you peace of mind. You just shouldn't be worried about money. I hear that most couples fight about money more than anything else. My wife and I fight. We usually fight over what we're going to watch on TV or where we're going to eat dinner. I say fight. We disagree. We've never had a single fight about money because there's plenty of it. And we look at it and we go, well, here's where it is. And, we get a salary. We live off of a very, very small salary compared to how much the business makes. And then the business makes money that goes into investment holding, and we buy a duplex, or we buy stocks, or, we buy stuff that Betsy's going to be able to spend after I die, I guess. But we're just really, really smart with that stuff. And we live well beneath our means. We're also generous out of investment holding. It's a wonderful, 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 wonderful way to live. And some of you are saying, gosh, Don, I haven't been doing this. Well, you know what? It wasn't time for you to do that. You were in business building mode, and now you've got money flowing in and you need help managing it. You didn't have this problem when there was no money coming in. Now that there's money coming in, you have this problem. And so it's the right time to fix it. You are not behind. You made a tax mistake. Great. It's the right time to fix it. And you won't make that mistake again. And this is the system on how to do it. You're in a good spot. Don't worry. You're in a really, really good spot. But the 5 checking accounts are the best way to actually manage your money. Just spoke to a woman yesterday at the Cupcake Collection. My friend Mignon Francois runs the Cupcake Collection here in Nashville, Tennessee. Her mama, her beautiful mama, it was in there. And she said, Don, I read that. I've been using 5 checking accounts all my life. You stole my system and it works, doesn't it? And I said, yes, it works. 5 checking accounts work. She had 6 because she also had she had 2 tax accounts, but she's been running that probably from almost before I was born. And it works for her. So if you don't have that yet, you want to get that. Listen, I just introduced you to 6 systems and playbooks and frameworks that just stop problems in their tracks. They just ease you up so much to run the parts of your business well. Now, as I said in the beginning, we've been talking for going on an hour now, and you probably feel like you've drunk from a fire hydrant. Don't feel that way. What you want to do is get the book, and when you have a problem in that area of your business, fix it. When you have a problem in that area, when you say, gosh, we're managing chaos around here, install our management and operations playbook. If your money is driving you crazy, install the cash flow playbook. If you've just released a website and no business is happening, no increase in business, clarify your message out of chapter 2. If you've got a sales conversation coming up, read chapter 3. Everybody needs to do chapter 1. Another way that you can do it is actually to overhaul your entire business in 6 months. And I've got something for you that's going to help you do that. We're releasing on May 1st, our small business flight school. This is a 6-month online program to help double revenue for your small business. So the way it works is we've broken down the 6 frameworks into 22 steps. So each week, we're going to send you one of those steps. I'll send you a video and an exercise that you will do, and it amounts to a giant checklist. If you do these things, you will professionalize your operation. A lot of people say, Don, everything you just shared is amazing, but it just feels too big. Well, we've broken it down into 22 steps. By the end of those 22 steps, you should, if you are a sub-$1 million revenue business, you should have doubled your revenue, your run rate. You should be at, $200,000 a month instead of $100,000 a month, or 160 instead of 80. If you're $1 million business. So every step in that process is not just designed to professionalize your operation, it's designed to get more cash in the door. And so if that sounds good to you, Don, I love it, but I want to get it all done. I want to build my business the right way, and I want to do it right now. You're going to be doing all sorts of working on your business anyway. Why not work on the right things to professionalize your operation? That releases in May. However, if you go to smallbusinessflightschool.com right now, you can join the wait list. If you join the wait list exclusively because you're on this webinar, we're going to give you a discount on Flight School when it comes out. You're going to get a discount, and I'll tell you now, it's hundreds of dollars. You're going to get a discount on Flight School. And how much is, if you doubled the revenue of your business, how much would you pay to double the revenue of your business? You'd probably pay a lot. Well, this doesn't cost anywhere near that. And you're also going to get a discount because you signed that wait list. So if you say, hey, I might be interested in that in the future, go to smallbusinessflightschool.com and join the wait list. The bottom line is this: Your business needs to run like an airplane. And I want to teach you how to do it. If you do this, you can return to serving customers and getting busy with the vision that you originally had. You can return to serving customers and get busy with the vision that you originally had, rather than spending every day putting out fires and trying to stop this airplane from crashing. If your business always feels like it's about to crash, it's because it's not been engineered correctly. That's why. It's not been engineered correctly. Okay. So thank you for joining today's webinar. That was an introduction to our operating system at Business Made Simple. It's called Small Business Flight Plan. And you learn to use the Small Business Flight Plan at Small Business Flight School. So go to smallbusinessflightschool.com and join the wait list. And let's spend 6 months together, you and me, optimizing your business. Whether you're a solopreneur or you have 250 employees, doesn't matter. It's going to help you double your revenue. smallbusinessflightschool.com. Thank you so much for joining us.